Hello there, greetings and salutations, and welcome to Thursday. Yes, it is Thursday, the 15th of January 2026, halfway through the month. And entering the pre-weekend, or as some people like to call it, the pre-kend. Welcome along to our live broadcast. It is the Daily Crack with me, Sean G, here on Global Irish Radio, this National Pothole Day. Yes, they've even got their own day now. That's how many of them there are. So there you go. Welcome along, friends. We're live from just outside Castlebar here in County Mayo, where there are plenty of potholes. And if you think that's weird and wacky and all of that, Dublin Zoo, I'm told, are gearing up for Penguin Awareness Day. I can hardly say it. Penguin Awareness Day. How's about that? And they have a new exercise initiative to coincide with the occasion. They're going to be celebrating Winter Waddle Week. Winter Waddle Week. Winter, all the W's there. WWW. Winter Waddle Week will take place January the 19th to the 25th of January, where you're encouraged to walk like a penguin as part of their exercise regime or initiative to coincide with National Penguin Day, which must be around about that time. So there you go. Walk like a penguin. Just like it is when when there's snow and ice and stuff like that, we're always encouraged to walk like a penguin, aren't we? Cautiously and carefully, and lots of waddling if you want it to be effective from an exercise perspective. And looking at the weather, in fact, you may have to actually waddle like a penguin in the coming week or coming into the weekend, and certainly a little further into February as well. And we talked about this yesterday, didn't we? The possibility of another beast from the east to descend on our little country later in the February essentially. As for now, it's finally stopped raining. That is the good news. Yeah. And supposedly there are a few dry days on the way. Maybe even a little bit of sunshine. Perfect, as I say, perfect weather for a walk or a waddle. And forecasters are keeping a keen eye, though, on a potentially wintry bout of weather, we're told, that is expected to hit Ireland later in the month. Now, it's far out, and the models are saying all kinds of things, but there exists that possibility or that off chance that another cold snap, a forecast, could come within a few weeks with potentially snow and very low temperatures, which would wreak all kinds of havoc, as you can imagine. Met Éireann say a cool or cold easterly airflow is likely to dominate between Monday, January the 26th and Sunday, February the 1st, bringing below average temperatures across the country. So the weather experts are saying that there's a strong possibility of, as I say, kind of a beast from the east type weather event with snow and ice. So we won't worry about it yet because it is a few weeks away, isn't it? We'll try and get through the weekend first, where, as we've been telling you, the temperature is likely to drop a little bit. It's going to be brisk or crisp and dry and chilly. A little bit of sunshine, won't be giving off a whole lot of heat or anything like that. You'll want to wrap up well if you're heading out. And once again, quite possibly difficult travel conditions if the roads are wet and untreated. But if the rain stays away, that won't be a problem. Anyway, just giving you the heads up. We're live, friends, here. Global Irish Radio, thedailycrack.com for all previous episodes. If you can't stay with us for the hour, which we hope you can, we're here till 4 most days, 3 to 4, bringing you up to speed on all that's going on in Mother Ireland here. And there's lots to talk about, so hopefully you'll stay with us for the hour or so. The chitter-chatter of the nation, the top trending stories, there's music as well. If there's something you want to hear, by all means, studio@gir.ie. Love to hear from you. Rory McIlroy, he is beginning 2026 in much the same way that he ended 2025 successfully. Yes, he is leading at the Dubai Invitational, and he showing impressive form there, carding a 66 to give him a one-shot lead. So a good start to 2026 for the unstoppable Rory McIlroy. Lots of golf enthusiasts will be keeping an eye on that over the coming days. But as you see there, off to a good start for Rory, and we're Delira and Syra about that, obviously. We hope you're well this Thursday. One more day to go till the weekend. I know January, it's a tough one with all that's going on. The dark and dreary days, the broken resolutions, dry January as well. It seems like everyone is against us. But anyway, that's just life. You'll get through it. Hang in the race. I'm sure that you will. Now, looking at a quick glance at the papers, and one story that dominates all of the papers today and getting front page coverage is that of the story of it's not a nice story, let's put it that way. The evil stepmother, she's been referred to. Rot in hell is the headline on today's Irish Daily Star, and below that another headline, the face of a tot killer. It's the story of an evil stepmother who murdered her 4-year-old boy in her care And she can now be named, or he can now be named, first of all, because while it was ongoing and in the courts, there's reporting restrictions and all of that stuff. So in order to protect the identities and stuff of the youngster involved. But now that the trial is out of the way and the sentencing complete, we are getting details, horrific details of the last few days and weeks of the young toddler's life. As I say, the boy in her care was named as Tegan McGee and subject to all kinds of horrific abuse. So much so that when taken to the emergency room, the physicians they gasped with shock, the amount of brutality and the level of assault that took place. So a very hard end to that young boy's life, and she got her sentence there yesterday. As you said, evil stepmom who battered little Mason. Yeah, Mason was the little boy's name. Sorry, just to correct that. Mason was 4 years old and ended a life cut short, obviously, by all kinds of abuse at the hands of his stepmom. And she's going away to jail for a very, very long time. Very, very disturbing story. Very, very difficult reading, let's put it that way. Now, so that is the story, friends. It is making much of our papers this Thursday. There's lots and lots of coverage because the reporting restrictions have now been lifted and we're getting insight, and it makes for shocking reading. Now, elsewhere, I see that Catherine Connolly's campaign team paid almost $30,000 over to a PR firm linked to the Mayor of New York, who successfully, against all odds, became the Mayor of New York. It's rather interesting. So, and lots of people talked about Catherine Connolly's campaign, and particularly her social media campaign. And it seems that there are links. This is news that's emerging from the filings in terms of the expenditure of the presidential campaign. Catherine Connolly's campaign team, they paid almost $30,000 to a public relations firm linked to Zoran Mandami, which provided her presidential election team with tactical insights from his successful bid to become Mayor of New York. So that's a rather interesting story, and not surprising, I suppose. I suppose that was a case of money well spent. Miss Connolly's campaign was widely lauded for its grassroots nature and savvy social media use, which helped propel her to the Oris last November. Of course, it didn't help the fact that Fine Gael and Fianna Fáil were a total disaster in terms of their candidate selection and the candidates that were picked. So that combined with a fairly savvy social media campaign and a very successful PR company from the United States that had a proven successful track record of success getting the new mayor elected in New York against all odds, and the amount of money that was spent in that race. And Andrew Cuomo, is that his name? The former governor of New York spent a lot of money, and both Democrats trying to take the position of Mayor of New York, but Mandami, as you know, the socialist, and the guy who ran on the issue of affordability won the day, but very savvy in terms of the types of campaign that very stark contrast, I suppose, between the two types of campaigns, the old school Cuomo campaign and the more, sophisticated Mandami campaign. So, interesting there. Thought you'd like to a little insight into the things that went well for Catherine Connolly. As you know, she became our 10th president towards the end of last year. Speaking of presidents, there's a nice, well, I won't say it's a nice picture, but there's a picture of a fuming Donald Trump, we're told, flipping the middle finger at a voter or a factory worker, and with the quote, F you. You can't say it on the radio because Margaret would be given out. But that's the quote that's attributed to him. The irate US president lost his cool after he was accused of being a paedophile protector by the man at the car firm's manufacturing facility in Michigan and the White House. And I don't know what's worse, flicking the finger and saying the words that he said from somebody that should be above all of that kind of stuff and shouldn't allow himself to be provoked. Obviously, you're not going to please all of the people all of the time. It's difficult to please half the people half the time. But anyway, the worst part, the White House defended Trump, calling his response appropriate. Now, if there are young kids and toddlers and school-age kids, and you point to that as an example of, I don't know, as with role model behaviour, I think a lot of people would say, no, it's not really appropriate, and particularly where a higher standard is expected. But anyway, that's just one of many pictures of the Donald. He just seems to be on a rampage these days, doesn't he? There's lots of coverage in all of the papers today, and particularly with regards to the situation that's going on there in Greenland. And elsewhere in the papers today, we are reading that French and German troops are mobilising and sending military and equipment to Greenland to show force there. How the world has changed in the space of a year, where the Europeans are mobilising militarily to send a message to the United States, which only up to a year ago were staunch allies and managed to keep both Europe and America safe for a long, long time. And it comes at the same time that Trump has taken out, he's got involved in Venezuela. He's threatening the Cubans. He's threatening the Iranians, and he's promising to invade Greenland if he doesn't get it the easy way. He is on a rampage, isn't he? And there's a piece in the paper as well today about the Iranians saying that the bullet, it won't miss next time, and a lot of coverage on that story as well. And what's interesting, looking on social media, it's crazy stuff, and what a crazy world we live in. But looking at, that's obviously something that's getting a lot of attraction. When you come out and make a statement like that on state-sponsored television in Iran, for obvious reasons and stuff like that. And, we know there are no saints out there and what's going on, and they're having their own little revolution. My take on that would be, let the Iranians sort that out. That's their problem. Let them, if they want a revolution, let them have a revolution. If they don't, then, countries, there's an old great saying that says countries deserve the governments that govern them. And so much to the, point in the fact that it is up to the people of the countries to decide what happens in their country, kind of thing. That would be my take on it. But anyway, what's surprising is the amount of pushback, the amount of support for the Iranians on social media. They're all saying, yeah, go on. It's crazy. From America, all across America, people just siding with the Iranians on that particular controversial statement. It is crazy stuff. And as you know, there's a lot of coverage here in this part and in all of our papers today. There's wall-to-wall coverage of the unfolding events there in Greenland, and there's been meetings between the Danish Premier and the White House and different stuff like that. And what I thought was rather astonishing was this interaction between the Donald and a reporter yesterday. Take a listen and we'll pick up on it afterwards.
The Premier of Greenland said today, we prefer to stay with Denmark. Do you see that as the final word? Who said that? The Premier of Greenland.
Well, that's their problem. That's their problem. I disagree with him. I don't know who he is. Don't know anything about him. But that's going to be a big problem for him.
Yeah, it's going to be a big problem for him. Am I the only one that finds that a little bit odd or strange or concerning that a country that you're planning to take over, whether it's to purchase or to take it over in a hostile takeover, as you might say in commercial terms, but militarily or whatever, and you don't even know who the premier of the country is, or you haven't even talked to him, or and the strange thing is, the funny thing is that the Americans have full access to Greenland anyway for security purposes and stuff like that, and the countries that they're fighting against are NATO members. They're all part of NATO, and the whole thing, Putin must be just having a field day at what's going on there. So it's crazy stuff. I just thought that particular interaction with that reporter, where she mentioned that the Premier of Greenland said he'd rather stick with Denmark, and the President of the United States doesn't even know who the guy is, never heard of him, and couldn't even be bothered to find out who he is. He just wants Greenland, and that's it. For national security, wink wink. If it was national security, well, they have full... In fact, apparently the Americans have been closing bases there for the last while and taking troops out. But they have full access to Greenland, apparently, as it is, and could set up as many bases as they want for the purposes of protecting America and Europe. But some think it's other motives in terms of maybe going after... valuable earthly, those rare minerals and stuff like that the Chinese have a lot. He sees China with all these minerals, and he wants his own country that's rich with these minerals, because of course Elon needs them for the batteries and stuff like that. So it's a crazy time, and it's just remarkable stuff what's going on, and it's just every day is a roller coaster. Does the man sleep at all? He's going on the whole time, everywhere you look. And as I say, it's very topical over here. It's getting a lot of coverage. It is everywhere we look. It's in all of our papers and lots of commentary and all of the rest of it. Elsewhere in our papers today, I couldn't help but notice a different kind of a story out of the US. Well, not necessarily, but Taoiseach Simon Harris had a warm and constructive meeting yesterday with US President Donald Trump's nemesis, Gavin Newsom. Apparently he's been visiting Ireland. The California governor is a longtime rival of Mr. Trump, and in a recent statement issued by his office called him a deranged, habitual liar whose relationship with reality ended years ago. We're talking about the guy who has the codes, the nuclear codes, the President of the United States, and that is one of the, I suppose, leading presidential candidates on the Democratic side, and his character, how he characterises the president. But anyway, Mr. Newsom is considered to be a presidential hopeful for the Democrats in 2028. The Taoiseach said we had a warm, constructive discussion on a variety of key issues. I wonder if Trump came up. And he's also meeting with business leaders from different sectors, particularly the tech sector and the pharma, during his visit to California. So the Taoiseach was actually out in California on some kind of a trade mission there, and meeting with the governor of California, Gavin Newsom, who, as we say, will be and is likely to be a potential one of the forerunners, I suppose. The leaders are the favourites for to run as to be the Democrat nominee in the next presidential election, if there are ever elections again anymore. And I wouldn't be surprised if there will be no more if the midterms don't happen. That's the trajectory. That's the kind of path that we're on at the moment. Will things hold until the midterms? And that's a lot of talk about that. And that seems to be the feeling. Can America hold until the midterms? We'll have to wait and see, because if they do, I think it's game over, and it's you're looking at a very different trajectory beyond that. Anyway, that's enough for the great United States of America, where it is never, ever, ever dull under the Donald. Now, another story that's getting quite a lot of attention today in our papers, and it was a story we told you about yesterday, and he was pictured yesterday leaving prison yet again. Teacher Enoch Burke, he was freed from prison yesterday despite indicating he would attend school in defiance of the order. The judge let him out and said, go away and prepare for that appeal case that you've got coming up, and in the interest of the administration of justice and all of that nice stuff, we're letting you out of jail to go away and prepare for that. To which Enoch responded out to the court, this is absurd. None of the other prisoners are allowed out of jail to go and prepare for their cases. And he said it's a travesty. And guess what? The idea was that he'd be let out and go prepare for his upcoming, there's a lot of legal points being argued in this appeals case that's coming up against a disciplinary panel. But anyway, Enoch was told he'd be let out on the premise that he wouldn't return to the school, despite Enoch telling the judge that's exactly where he'll go. And Enoch, being a man of his word and certainly very persistent, what do you know? He showed up at the school this morning, the day after being released from Mountjoy jail. I mean, you couldn't make this stuff up. So there you go. And Enoch Burke accusing the judge of hypocrisy for letting him out of jail, and promised to go back and protest outside the school, for which there are injunctions preventing him from showing up. All of that nice stuff. So it's gone from the front gate of Mountjoy, the coverage yesterday, to a picture of a picture we've become very familiar with at this point, a picture of Enoch Burke and the security guard outside Wilson's hospital school there in Westmeath. So the story continues. How long before Enoch is back in jail? It seems like it may only be a matter of time. Apparently he's coming up for mention in front of the courts again tomorrow, and the word was if he showed up, he'd be going back into the slammer. We'll have to wait and see. Another court case, by the way, that's going on, but across the pond in the UK, is that involving Kneecap. And as you know, they were up on terror charges towards the end of last year, and a bid by UK prosecutors to overturn the decision to throw out the terror case against Kneecap, Liam Og, has begun. The rapper, who performs as Mo Kara, was accused of displaying a flag in support of a prescribed terror organisation Hezbollah at a gig in London in November 2024. The case was subsequently thrown out last September, and now the the prosecution are appealing that, and so there are pictures of Kneecap, a defiant Kneecap, showing up at that appeals hearing for that dismissal. So Kneecap back in the news once again for reasons other than music or musical performances or anything of that nature. GlobalIrishRadio.com, friends. We are the Irish Diaspora Station. We are the voice of record. We have all the news for you, all that's happening here in Mother Ireland, keeping you connected with home, and we're streaming on as many as 25 digital platforms. You'll find us on Alexa. You'll find us on the Global Irish Radio app as well. So check out the App Store. If you haven't already downloaded it, get it while it's fresh. Download it and take us with you wherever you go, and spread the good word as well. We would sure appreciate that. And this is the Daily Crack Show. Me, myself, and I, Sean G, here each day between 3 to 4. Keep you in touch, as I say, Mother Ireland. Now, what's to lighter news now? Oh, that was a lot of heavy, a lot of politics and current affairs kind of stories getting us off the mark this Thursday. But that's the state of the nation, the state of the world, even, friends. To something a little more lighthearted now. It is the pre-weekend, after all, or the pre-kend, and looking ahead to what's happening on our telly at the weekend. Because, well, we didn't talk about it last week after last Sunday nights, but there was one of the Dancing with the Stars contestants eliminated. But this weekend, all eyes are on all of the contestants again, because it is movie week, or whatever you want to call it, where they dance to the tracks of the movies. The eagerly awaited movie night is back this weekend as Dancing with the Stars heads into its third week. So far, one casualty. The first weekend, everybody got a free pass. Last week saw the season's first and earliest ever elimination as comedian Michael Fry. He may be funny, but he can't dance. He was sent home, and on Sunday, the 11 remaining couples will perform routines inspired some of the biggest movies of all times, and plenty of coverage on that story as well, and could run through what the various dancers will be doing. We'll tell you what Paddy Maloney will be doing, because he seems to be everybody's favourite. He's the Traders Ireland breakout star who was a prison officer before in a previous life, but shot to fame through his participation in the Traitor series, which was by all accounts extremely popular, and lots of people loved it, and particularly loved Paddy Maloney. His brutal honesty and him being his authentic self earned him a place. He's a ratings, like Trump and ratings. Paddy is good for the ratings, and so, as one of the judges said, it was clever casting, including Paddy in this year's lineup of Dancing with the Stars. But he will... who will he be on Sunday night for the movies? He'll be Fred Flintstones. Meet the Flintstones. So there you go. We'll have to watch it. It's not, if he's on and we'll be looking at it and we're like, why are we watching this? But, sometimes you can't help but get drawn in. It's not Margaret's favourite, not mine either. But if it's on, we'll tend to kind of, we'll be watching it a little bit, and we'll be giving out, or we'll be, whatever it is anyway. So anyway, there you go. Dancing with the Stars. It certainly has captured the attention of a lot of people. It's great from a ratings perspective, and lots of people are tuning in. Lots of people like it. Now, we have a nice little story a little closer to home, and an Irish man is walking more than 5,500 kilometres across the entire length of Europe. Now, and Johnny Foley, you thought you were doing good walking. Well, you are doing good. Johnny's taken to walking. I think he's raising money for a charity or something of that nature. One of our great listeners out there in the windy city of Chicago. And I love what he sent me on the Messenger on Facebook. It's kind of an aerial shot of the route that he walks. And he's been doing some long, long walks. They say, great exercise, great way to start the new year. No waddling there. He's moving along fairly fast. But I love that there's kind of drone footage of the route that he takes, and you see exactly where he went, and he zooms in. It's really cool. Let me say that. But anyway, there you go. From Johnny in Chicago to Eamon Keaveney, who actually comes from Claremorris here in County Mayo. So he's doing this big walk. He's 33 years old, and he's embarked on an epic journey from Istanbul to Ireland in March last year. Well, he did do that, and he's walked what he's done, the Balkan Mountains. He's done a hell of a lot of walking. He's a civil servant and a career. He took a career break to do all this walking. As a youngster, I guess, he was looking at the Guinness Book of the World Records, and he spotted a record for the longest barefoot journey and thought, you know what, I could do that. And he decided he'd walk from Istanbul to Ireland, and there you go. He walked the length of Europe. After walking 2,000 kilometres barefoot around Ireland, He is set to enter the Guinness World Records. But anyway, there you go. A nice story involving the Claremorris native. His name is, as I say, Eamon Keaveney, 33 years old, and he's fundraising for Jigsaw, which is a charity that provides free mental health support for young people and environmental group Friends of the Earth. And the walk, not without challenges, because, remember, he's doing it in his feet. And he's been walking at times when it was really, really, really cold, and then at other times when it was really, really hot. And different parts of the country, and particularly Europe, get very, very hot. They'd burn the feet off you, the stones in the ground and stuff like that. And his feet took quite a bruising, let's put it that way, but it didn't stop him. So there you go, a nice story of the success of an Irishman, Eamon Keaveney, 33 years old, walking and walking and walking. Studio@gir.ie if you ever feel the need to get in touch, or you just want to say hello, or there's a piece of music you'd like to hear. We certainly would love to hear from you. Here most days between 3 to 4. If there's a song you want to hear outside of those times, you can go to the website globalarishradio.com or gir.ie and take yourself off to the Request a Song portal on the website. There you can browse through the library and select the songs that you want to hear. Simple as that, and it does exactly what it says on the tin. Now, how would you like a moon with the view? Or sorry, a room with the view even? 1 million for a moon room. Yeah, there's a new hotel being planned for the moon. I'm not sure if they're going to be. I think it's going to be a restaurant there as well. Not sure about the food, but we said they're saying it's going to have great atmosphere. Anyway, adventurers can book a hotel room on the moon for an out-of-this-world deposit of $1 million. That's the deposit. I don't know if it's refundable or not. But anyway, listen up. Startup firm Galactic Resource Utilization Space has announced plans to open a resort on the lunar surface by 2032. So it's not that far away. You want to be scraping up the old euros there and putting down the deposit if you're serious about it. Aspiring space tourists can secure a room on the moon. Let's get that right. A room on the moon for $1 million. That's about $1 million. Only €850,000 to visit what the company claims will be the first ever permanent off-Earth structure. And if the way things keep going in this world, we might be going ourselves. But anyway, building work is expected to begin in 2029, but the hotel's first guests are expected to have completed previous commercial space flights before you head out for your visit to the moon. So a little bit of talk about that anyway. It'll be interesting to see if it gets off the ground. Well, we'll have to wait and see, won't we? Conor McGregor is everywhere, isn't he? But often pops up on social media feeds from time to time. The latest is there's talk about the wedding, which took place towards the end of last year at the Vatican, and he tied the knot after a long, long time. Poor girl. What's her name? Conor McGregor's, wait you hear this, the floral cost alone, the cost of the flowers would fund 4 bog standard weddings. Yeah, he spent about 150 grand on just the flowers alone. The whole affair, not too many pictures or anything like that from the actual event, because they're probably going to be up for auction. Somebody will buy the rights to those, no doubt, and pay a lot of money for them, because, pay for the flowers at least. 150G on the flowers alone, and they decorated, apparently the entire church was covered in some kind of flowers, and flowers for everybody. So that's what 150G will get you these days. And then put together all the other, it was a very flashy, flamboyant wedding, we're told. We don't know too much because we haven't seen the pictures yet, but there were Rolls Royces and all kinds of excesses, if you will, for the man who recently found Jesus and wants to build the biggest statue of Jesus ever in the country, which, if it goes ahead and gets the planning permission, would be erected off the cliffs of Moher. So that was another story involving Conor earlier this week. But yeah, we're finding out the cost of the flowers. They weren't cheap. He didn't spare any expense. And speaking of not sparing any expense, there's another story that's getting a fair amount of attention in various places and in the papers and where else on the radio as well. But a lot of the papers, Dunleary Rathdown County Council's decision to spend $753,000 on a new entrance to a park has been derided as just extortionate by a planning expert. I think that's a fair characterisation of it. When people now enter the Deer Park in Mount Merrion, they are greeted with 14 steps with handrails and a ramp. Very, very nice, you might say, but $700,000, almost $701,000 was paid to a contractor for the work, with an additional just over $6,000 spent on tree protection measures, as well as a further $5,000 on a heritage sign and manufacturing. So essentially, what started out as a plan to put in steps, 14 of them, and a ramp at this park, was priced at about $200,000. That's what the quote came in at. And then, as the work was carried out, the Office of Public Works, not the most efficient crowd of people. They went and they did their thing, and by the time the work was done 2 years later, the final tab came in at just over $753,000 for 14 steps. And apparently there's another ramp and steps a few hundred yards away from the one that they recently installed. So I don't know, is that money well spent? I think not. Extortionate sounds just about right. Maybe even crazy is another good way to describe that. We thought like $200,000 or $300,000, what was it, for the bike shed was a lot of money, but nothing as wild as that particular project. But there you go. And former President Mary McAleese is making waves and raising some eyebrows. She wrote a piece in the Irish Times, I think it was, earlier this week, or one of the days anyway. And the headline on that piece: "Baptism denies babies their human rights." So, and Mary McAleese was the President of Ireland 2 terms before Michael D did his 2 terms. So way back was in the 90s and the noughties. And so she's written this piece about the fact that no one is Catholic by birth, and she says it's a breach of babies' human rights for them to be baptised. So as you can imagine, getting a little bit of pushback on that particular article. And she's self-proclaimed, well, she says she's a staunch Catholic, and she talked about that a lot. In fact, I remember talking with you on the programme here about a podcast. She did a podcast with Ryan Tubridy on the Bookshelf, which is Ryan's podcast. And he interviews various people looking at their lives through the prism of books that they read and stuff like that. It's an interesting podcast, and certainly the podcast or the interview with her was very interesting. And she talked about the problems and the violence and the harassment that they experienced as Catholics growing up in Northern Ireland. But she talked about her faith and her religion, and how she was essentially a very staunch Catholic. So it was let's say a lot of eyebrows were raised at that particular piece in the Irish Times last week, and a lot of pushback on social media as well. So I don't know, is it a breach of a baby's human rights in a Catholic country to be baptised? Lots of people have their opinions on that. But anyway, she says they're not Catholic by birthright. So I'm sure the piece is available for you to check online. It's getting a little bit of surprisingly, if that story was written 20 or 30 years ago, it would be getting a lot more attention. These days, not so much. But nonetheless, in the more traditional and in the more conservative homes, it's getting a few raised eyebrows, to say the least. So there you go, friends. Some of the stories that have got our lips or our chins wagging here in this country. You're listening to The Daily Crack with me, Sean G, on Global Irish Radio, and dailycrack.com for episodes of this broadcast, or wherever you get your podcasts, you'll find us there as well. GlobalIrishRadio.com, the Irish Diaspora Station, bringing Irish radio programs from Ireland and Irish communities all around the world. Our mission to preserve and promote Irish music, heritage and culture. Won't you join us? Let us get some tunes going. Want to play a very special request, came in yesterday, but I didn't see it. I was too busy waffling on. From our great listener out there in Chicago, Johnny Foley, listens all the time to Global Irish Radio, great ambassador for the show, or for the station, and requested a piece of music in memory of his late mom. Yesterday would have been her 28th anniversary, so we remember her in a very special way, and we dedicate that to the memory of Johnny Foley's mom. And here's the piece requested, Nell Flaherty's Drake by the Clancy Brothers and Tommy Macomb. Happy Thursday, friends.
Oh, my name it is Nell, and the truth for to tell, I come from Coathill, which I'll never deny. I had a fine Drake, and I die for his sake, that my grandmother left me, and she gone to die. The dear little fellow, his legs they were yellow, he could fly like a swallow or swim like a hake, till some dirty savage to graze his white cabbage most wantonly murdered me beautiful Drake. Now his neck it was green, almost fit to be seen. He was fit for a queen of the highest degree. His body was white and it would you delight. He was plump, fat and heavy and brisk as a bee. He was wholesome and sound, he would weigh 20 pound, and the universe round I would roam for his sake. Bad luck to the robber, be he drunk or sober, that murdered Nell Flaherty's beautiful Drake. May his spade never dig, may his sow never pig, may each hair in his wig be well triced with the flail. May his door never latch, may his roof have no thatch, may his turkeys not hatch, may the rat say he's male. May every old fairy from Cork to Dunleary dip him snug and airy in river or lake, that the eel and the trout they may dine on the snout of the monster that murdered Nell Flaherty's Drake. May his pig never grunt, may his cat never hunt, may a ghost ever haunt him at dead of the night. May his hens never lay, may his horse never neigh, may his goat fly away like an old paper kite, that the flies and the fleas may the wretch ever tease, may the piercing March breeze make him shiver and shake. May a lump of a stick raise the bumps fast and thick on the monster that murdered Nell Flaherty's Drake. Well, the only good news that I have to infuse is that old Paddy Hughes and young Anthony Blake, also Johnny Dwyer and Corny Maguire, they each have a grandson of my darling Drake. My treasure had dozens of nephews and cousins, and one I must get or my heart it will break. For to set me mind easy, or else I'll run crazy. So ends the whole song of Nell Flaherty's Drake.
Tell me, who is she? Let the wind and the rain and the hail blow high and the snow come shoveling from the sky. She's as nice as apple pie, and she'll get her own lad by and by. When she gets a lad of her own, she won't tell her ma when she gets home. Let them all come as they will, but it's Albert Mooney she loves still. She's handsome, she's pretty, she's a belle of Belfast City. She's courting 1, 2, 3. Please won't you tell me, who is she?
You're listening to Sean G on Global Irish Radio.
Hello, all you Global Irish Radio listeners out there, wherever you may be. It's myself, Finbar, here in beautiful northern Colorado, inviting you along to the Reigelteigel Celtic Folk Show, streaming here live every Monday and Friday evening at 10 p.m. Irish time, where you're guaranteed to hear some rare old recordings from the old country and beyond. And it's all here on globalirishradio.com, the home of the Reigelteigel. Listen to the Reigelteigel.
Good deeds are great things, and a single good deed can grow into a forest of kindness. At treedeeds.com, you can dedicate a tree in someone's honour and make a lasting impact on the planet. Each tree is deeded and comes with a personalised certificate, perfect for birthdays, holidays, memorials, or just because. Celebrate life, give back to nature, and leave a legacy that grows. Visit treedeeds.com today. That's treedeeds.com. Rooted in Ireland, gifted worldwide. We're live, friends. It's the Daily Crack with me, Sean G, here on Global Irish Radio this Thursday. And coming up later on tonight, Mr. Jim Corbett from our studios in Bundoran, County Donegal, brings you the Jim Corbett Irish Radio Show between 6 to 8 tonight. Tom is back, DJ Tom, big, tall DJ Tom, live from Chicago, 8 o'clock tonight. And all of your requested dedications, that's Tom's Irish Radio Show, 2 o'clock local time there in Chicago. There's an hour of the Crack Radio Show live in Philadelphia later on tonight as well, and another chance to catch this broadcast later on as well tonight. 10 o'clock I think it is the rerun tonight. And of course, if you miss it live or you don't want to listen to it live, dailycrack.com, and give us a follow there, and automatic notifications as new episodes drop. Spoke to the well-exchanged communications with the Ranter there yesterday, and looks like the next we'll be taping the next episode of the Irish Ranter podcast on Friday, I think. Friday, so all going well, the next edition of the Ranter will drop Friday evening, Friday night. So that's tomorrow, isn't it? Yeah, so only a day away. Should be joining William J. Kelly, reporter William J. Kelly, live from Chicago again tomorrow. We'll see if that happens or not, but reporter William J. Kelly making waves out there in his city as he takes on the Chicago mayor and the political class and all of the rest of it. And the William J. Kelly Irish Music School of Dance radio show coming your way soon. Not too sure exactly how soon, but we'll find out when we chat to William tomorrow. It's globalirishradio.com, and time for a quick look at some of the Here's What's Happening Now kind of stories, the top trending series news stories of the day. And so it begins. The High Court has ordered that immediate steps be taken to serve papers to teacher Enoch Burke seeking his return to prison after he again breached an order not to trespass on Wilson's Hospital School in Westmeath. On Thursday afternoon, Mr. Justice Brian Cregan granted Rosemary Mallon, the barrister or whatever, for the school permission for a short service proceedings seeking his attachment and committal to prison for breaching a previous order not to trespass. He hasn't even been out 24 hours and they're looking for him to go back in again. It's crazy. The Burkes are crazy, very persistent, but wow, you'd think he'd wait a few days and have a nice warm meal or something like that. I imagine prison food in Mountjoy isn't the best. The crowding, it's overcrowded. Conditions can't be great. So you would think that he'd at least get himself a good night's sleep for a few nights and some good nourishment before. But no, back at school first thing this morning. I mean, Will, the Burkes, I don't know how this is going to end. But anyway, there you go. It looks like Burke will be back in jail maybe before the end of the day or tomorrow. Who knows? So that's a story. It's a fluid, it's an evolving story, as you can imagine there. Some of the other bits and pieces for you before we finish up this Thursday. Michael Flatley has been accused of trying to hijack the highly successful Lord of the Dance tour in order to strip it of cash to fund his debts and personal lifestyle. The allegations are set out in affidavits before the High Court in Belfast in injunction proceedings bought by Switzer Consulting Ltd, the company that now runs the multi-million euro tour. So there you go. Michael Flatley accused of trying to dip his hand into the candy jar to fund his fairly luxurious lifestyle. I think he's got a nice big mansion down there in Cork. He is experiencing, I think, some financial difficulties, but I understood that some of his rich friends or his builder friends had bailed him out and he was able to make the necessary payments on that property. Might not be a bad idea to downsize when you're in that kind of situation. I mean, how many bedrooms? At the end of the day, as Margaret says, you can only sleep in one bed at a time. Anyway, now imagine you had purchased or you had 100,000 lying around in your house, but you didn't know where, or you weren't aware of it, and then you found out. Well, that's exactly what happened to one lucky punter who was playing the lottery, and this was a rather unusual story, but I think it's got a happy ending. One lucky punter walked Well, he got this scratch card. They have these special edition lottery scratch cards, and on it was a prize for 100,000. He received it as part of, I think it was the Christmas Countdown scratch card is what they call it. It was a gift, and didn't realise that, he just threw it by the wayside, left it on the windowsill or something like that, and it was lying there for a while. The winning tickets was purchased at Sintra Main Street in County Roscommon, Athleague, County Roscommon, and the winner revealed that the lucky scratch card was waiting to be scratched for quite some time. So, and lots of people do that. They give their friends or family the lottery tickets for the person who has everything else and you're not sure what to buy them. It's a bit of a cop-out, I know, but it's something. It's better than the coldness of cash and the lack of thought that goes into that. So people sometimes get their own lottery tickets, and that's exactly what they did for this chap, only he left it lying on the windowsill for quite some time, and eventually, well, what happened? The scratch card was sitting on the window for some time, waiting to be scratched, and looking back at it now, he said, little did we know there was 100,000 on the windowsill all this time. It wasn't until a family member found it, looked at it, scratched it, and then they went to the store. They couldn't believe the good news. The punter revealed that they are looking forward to using the prize money towards a holiday soon. So if you have any of those old scratch cards lying around, or even the lotto, the numbers, bring it in, get it scanned. There's a possibility there might be some money on it. Who knows? And another story that is getting a breaking story, I suppose. A fisherman has died and another has been seriously injured on board a Spanish fishing vessel off the Kerry coast. We're learning at this hour. The alarm was raised earlier today when the Coast Guard's Marine Rescue Coordination Centre in Valencia, County Kerry, received a call from Spanish counterparts in Madrid. It's understood that the two men were injured when a rope snapped on board the fishing vessel. Some of the top trending news stories of the day, and of course the AI, Elon Musk's chatbot Grok is still continuing to make waves. A lot of people not happy with that, and talk about what's to be done about this nudifying feature on the AI. It's getting a lot of coverage at this hour as well, and talk about banning X altogether, or certainly banning the feature that allows you to undress pictures of people, and those are some of the top stories this Thursday here in Ireland. It's the Daily Crack with me, Sean G. Mentioned that Jim Corbett will be with you later on tonight for the Jim Corbett Radio Show. Jim sent me on a song from his upcoming album. That's right, he's a singer. I didn't know that either, but he is. He's a musical performer, he's a radio presenter, and he's also got a recording studio up there in Bundoran, County Donegal, from which he produces his own radio show that we share with you on the platform here on Tuesdays and Thursdays. But he's also got an upcoming album, and he sent us on one of the advanced tracks and asked us very kindly if we would feature it on the programme today. He sent another track as well from another group that he particularly likes. Ruby Roo is what they're called, and they've got a new song that they recorded at his studio, and it's called Breathless. We'll have to get that onto the playlist as well, but we'll start with Jim's own song, So Much to Share, and here Jim Corbett, our very own Jim Corbett, from an upcoming album, So Much to Share, now live on the Daily Crack here on Global Irish Radio.
All alone with my troubles, my heart seems to call out to you. There's no use in upsetting, regretting, forgetting a love we thought would never fall through. For our good times together, our memories to treasure, but our future goes two separate ways. All you left me was sorrow, but these words that I borrow bring me back to happier days. So climb aboard this heart of mine. There's plenty of room to spare. Stay there until all your dreams are fulfilled, 'cause you know we have so much to share. Mistakes, Lord, you know what it takes for a man to be robbed of his pride. There's no point in excuses, they serve no good uses. All I need is you back by my side. Darling, forgive me and try to believe that I'm badly in need of a friend. There's one hope left for me, with these words that you see, how to light up our love once again. So climb aboard this heart of mine. There's plenty of room to spare. Stay there until all your dreams are fulfilled, 'cause you know we have so much to share. There until all your dreams are fulfilled, 'cause you know we had so much to share.
Irish Radio is excited to partner with 950 WROL AM, the Spirit of Boston, to bring you portions of the Irish Hit Parade, providing the soundtrack to your weekend. Join Paul Sullivan on Saturdays 3 to 7 p.m. Irish time and famous Seamus Mulligan on Sunday 7 to 10 p.m. for a feast of Irish music. Streaming live from Boston right here on globalirishradio.com.
Good deeds are great things, and a single good deed can grow into a forest of kindness. At treedeeds.com, you can dedicate a tree in someone's honour and make a lasting impact on the planet. Each tree is deeded and comes with a personalised certificate, perfect for birthdays, holidays, memorials, or just because. Celebrate life, give back to nature, and leave a legacy that grows. Visit treedeeds.com today. That's treedeeds.com. Rooted in Ireland, gifted worldwide. And you're very welcome back. Just before the break, our very own Jim Corbett with a song from his upcoming album. I had a nice note in here from Jim, if I can pull it up. Maybe I can't now, but we'll bring it to you tomorrow. If not, I'm enclosing 2 songs to you, and would be grateful if you give them a little bit of airplay. The first song is called Breathless, which is performed by a duo called Ruby Rua, Michaela Bonner and Sebastian Kalka. The song is just after being released and getting great feedback, lots of great feedback around radio stations in the north and the northwest, but obviously they'd like to create an interest further afield, so any help you can do in that regard would be gratefully appreciated. And also they're playing a show in Derry if anybody wants to attend. All of that information is online. And the other song, the second song, is from his own album. We just played it for you there, and the album itself will be out in due course, and he is sending it on to us as soon as the artwork is complete, and we'll be adding it to the library here as well. But one of the songs they're previewing it for you on the program today, so thanks to Mr. Jim Corbett sending that our way this Thursday. And that other song, Breathless, we'll feature that on the program. How's about that tomorrow? We'll do that tomorrow for you and add it to the library as well. So there you go, new music on Global Irish Radio, your home for soundtrack of Ireland, really, isn't it? And the Boston shows of the weekend, the soundtrack of your Irish weekend. We've got it all for you here at Global Irish Radio, GIR.ie. You've been listening to the Daily Crack. If you missed the show live, you can catch it anytime, dailycrack.com. Lots of great programs coming your way and lots of great music coming throughout the rest of this Thursday afternoon. And we're back tomorrow with more of the same, and I think reporter William J. Kelly will be joining us on that front as well. We'll find out as well for you who's going to be on the Late Show, that kind of stuff, all of the usual stuff. So spread the good word. Check us out online as well. Check out our website. Give us a like. Just got the Instagram page up and running there, so give us a follow there. On our Facebook as well, you'll find us. And as I say, globalirishradio.com or GIR.ie, streaming 24/7 around the clock, around the corner and around the world. globalirishradio.com. Take us with you. Now, and coming at you, of course, as always, from just outside lovely Castlebar here in County Mayo, where, as we say at the outset, it's not a bad old day. It's a little bit overcast. It's getting chilly, and we're gearing up for some cooler temperatures and icy kind of weather coming into the weekend. A possibility of thunder and lightning as well, they're talking about. So yeah, that's what's on the menu weather-wise as we get ever closer to the weekend here in Ireland. Thank you so much for your company since 3. Thanks as always to Margaret helping out in the background. She's a little bit distracted today. We are having some company very, very shortly. We have to get out of here now and make room for the visitors as we practice our Irish coffees and teaching Margaret how to make the perfect Irish coffee today. She's never made one before. They were only coming for coffee, but I suggested putting a little bit of the, the JMO that I can't drink because it's dry January. Yes, still on the wagon, friends, for dry January. And we hope you are too. And all of the great benefits that come with being off the booze for the month of the detox that comes with January. It's a wonderful thing to do, and you'll feel better, you'll sleep better, you'll have mental clarity and all of that. So we'll be perfecting our Irish coffees shortly after the broadcast, and say Margaret learning how to make her first Irish coffee. Then they'll be very, very happy that I was here today, because they're only expecting coffee, but it'll be much more than that. The last visitor that came under such circumstances walked out the door and said he didn't know whether he was coming or going. Irish hospitality at its finest. So there you go. That's what's on the menu. Irish coffees this Thursday here at GIRHQ in County Mayo. We wish you a very happy Thursday, friends. And thank you for your company as always. Great to be here with you. We hope you're well, and we hope you take care of yourselves, and meet us back here tomorrow. Same time, same place. Our quote of the day today, not sure who said it, but a single twig breaks, but the bundle of twigs keeps strong. How's about that? Let's do it for you again. A single twig breaks, but the bundle of twigs is strong. So, strength in unity. Isn't that essentially what they're saying there? I believe it is. So, ne'er a truer word was spoken. Make what of that what you will, my friends. We shall leave you with the music of Sinead Black, On the Road Again. See you back here tomorrow at 3. Happy Thursday.
Guitar on my back and my favorite mandolin, I'm on the coach and on the road again. Every night I'll sing my song, sure I'm back where I belong, on stage and on the road again. On the road to places I have never been, on the road to meet old friends that I have seldom seen. So if you have the time to spare, come and see me now and then. I'm sure I'll pass your way. I'm on the road again. As the miles go flying by, I sometimes wonder why the neon lights are always calling me. Then I hear that magic sound, loves and laughter all around. I found the reason why I'm on the road again. On the road to places I have never been, on the road to meet old friends that
Billy Riley, in Dublin I was born, and for my bad behaviour I was forced to cross the foam. With me bundle on me shoulder, me shillelagh in me hand, for to ramble the bushes of Australia like a true-born Irishman. The wind being in our favour, we raised our sails with glee, and we gave 3 hearty cheers, me boys, going down the Irish Sea. We gave 3 hearty cheers, me boys, going down the Irish Sea. And on the 11th day of April, we landed in Portmagee. With me bundle on me shoulder, me shillelagh in me hand, for to ramble the bushes of Australia like a true-born Irishman. And when we reached old Melbourne, the ladies danced with joy. Says one of them to the other, here comes that Irish boy. And some they drank from glasses, and some they drank from cans, and they sang and they danced all around the house to the health of this Irish man. With me bundle on me shoulder, me shillelagh in me hand, for to ramble the bushes of Australia like a true-born Irishman. The mother to the daughter, I cannot understand why you're going to wed this Irish boy all the way from Paddy's land. Says the daughter to her mother, sure I'll do the best I can, since I ramble the bushes of Australia with my true-born Irishman. With me bundle on me shoulder, me shillelagh in me hand, for to ramble the bushes of Australia like a true-born Irishman. With me bundle on me shoulder, me shillelagh in me hand, for to ramble the bushes of Australia like a true-born Irishman.